As a 3D printer owner, there comes a time when you're faced with a difficult decision, and it's choosing your own CAD. Now, if you'll just Google CAD software, you will be greeted with an overwhelmingly long list. There are like 50 options. You will probably find SolidWorks, CATIA, Inventor, and those are good softwares, no doubt about it, but they come with a hefty price tag. Let's limit our choices to more affordable options. Something to note is that in this video we won't be discussing which CAD is better, more functional, easier to learn. Instead, we will focus our attentions on some specifics that make or break the decision. So in 3D printing world, there are some usual suspects like TinkerCAD, Fusion, Onshape, Plasticity, Shaper 3D and FreeCAD, and some lesser known like DesignSpark Mechanical and Alibre Atom 3D and Alibre Design. Let's start with a simple one. What device are you going to run the software? So the TinkerCAD and Onshape are unique in that they are running in browser. So basically any device that you have will be able to run it. If you're a Mac user, then Fusion, FreeCAD, Shaper 3D and Plasticity are your choices. Additionally, Shaper 3D can run on iPad as well. This will provide you additional mobility. If you are a Linux user, then your choices are somewhat limited. Only FreeCAD and Plasticity will run natively, but don't worry, those are great choices. If you are a Windows user on the other hand, you are in luck, because every single software on our list will run on Windows. With that out of the way, let's discuss our contenders. In the background, you will see me modeling some simple parts, and hopefully it will give you some ideas on how it's like to use those softwares. Let's start with TinkerCAD. It's a browser-based modeler. That means that your files will be stored in cloud as well. You will be able to export those files for 3D printing, but remember the main storage for your project will be cloud. You'll see that I'm pulling some shapes in the viewport, changing their dimensions, and pushing and pulling the part. So this is how you use TinkerCAD. You have a choice of predefined shapes, or you can use designs from user-created libraries. Then you align those parts, combine those parts, and subtract those parts to get to your final design. This workflow really makes you think outside the box, so I would consider it a great exercise. The neat thing about TinkerCAD is that it's totally free. There are no hidden subscriptions, no hidden costs. You can just use it to your heart's content. Fusion is a well-known CAD software and is a popular choice. However, for me it's a bit weird. You need to install the software on your PC and then your projects are still kept in cloud. This makes you dependent on the quality of your internet connection and Fusion server uptime. Fusion is what's known as a parametric CAD modeler. That means that the dimensions for all your sketches are kept as parameters, and you can access them anytime you like and make modifications. Additionally, you have a history tree, where you can go back in time, make changes, and the part will be updated parametrically. However, Fusion keeps up with modern times and demands, so it introduces direct modeling functionality as well, which means that you will be able to move features, offset, or even delete faces. Fusion is free for personal use, but you will be limited to 10 active projects. That means that you can have more projects, but you will need to manage them, disable some to create new. If you would like to use it commercially, then you will need to opt in for the subscription. There is a small allowance of $1,000 per year in income. After that, you will need to subscribe to the paid plan. Fusion's subscription price is a highly discussed topic. In recent years, they have increased prices several times, and the increase is quite substantial as well. Now on to Onshape. It's a browser-based offering, and as such, your files and projects will be stored in cloud. I would consider that the Onshape is a main competitor to Fusion. Onshape is a parametric CAD system with direct modeling functionality. However, its main selling point is the online collaboration. It allows team members to simultaneously work on the same project. It is again free for personal use, but there is a different limitation. All your projects are available publicly. This may be a deal breaker, and it certainly was for me. For commercial use, it's a subscription-based service, and might I add, it's roughly twice more expensive than Fusion. Plasticity calls itself CAD for artists, and indeed, it shares similar workflow to Blender, it uses similar shortcuts, and overall, if you're a Blender user, you will feel at home. You will need to install it on your PC, and your projects will be stored locally. Plasticity is a direct modeler. In the background you can see that I do start with some sketches and dimensions. Then I extrude features and those sketches become irrelevant. I can just delete them. If I modify those sketches, they don't change the part. But you still can create dimensionally accurate engineering-grade parts. What differentiates Plasticity is that it does not have a free tier and it does not have a subscription plan. You will have two pricing tiers, where the cheapest one is geared towards hobbyists and the more expensive one toward professional use. Both of those versions allow you to use it commercially, so you're not limited there. Now, subscription plan means that when you purchase your software, it's yours to use forever. It's called a perpetual license, and you will get 1 year of updates included. After that 1 year, you will still be able to use your software, nothing will change. The only difference is that you won't get further updates. After that year, you can optionally extend your license, purchasing the upgrade pack, and it's cheaper than the initial license. Next is Shaper 3D. You will need to install it on your PC, but just like Fusion, your projects will be stored in cloud. The unique thing about Shaper 3D is that it started its life as a direct modeling software, but recently added the history-based feature tree and the parametric functionality. I would consider Shaper 3D as an always paid software. It does have a free tier, but it's limited to only 2 projects and the exports are so low poly you probably can't even use them for 3D printing. It is a subscription-based service, but it's substantially cheaper than Fusion and Onshape. Now let's talk about FreeCAD. You will install FreeCAD on your PC, and most probably it will be multiple versions of FreeCAD. FreeCAD is an open source software, and as such, multiple versions of FreeCAD exist and they are known as forks. At the time of recording of this video, the official FreeCAD version is 0.21 and is available for download both from official website and GitHub repository. Development version of FreeCAD also exists and it's version 0.22. When this version is released, it will be known as FreeCAD 1.0. Additionally, there is Real Thunders, Linkstage Branch, and OnSal. We will discuss these options in a different video. Your projects are stored locally and you have a full control over them. FreeCAD is a parametric CAD modeler, and quite powerful at that. FreeCAD utilizes workbenches, and these workbenches range from typical engineering part designs, architecture designs, finite element analysis workbenches, surface modeling, and much more. There were attempts made to add some direct modeling functionality, but unfortunately they did not succeed. DesignSpark Mechanical is a result of collaboration between ANSYS SpaceClaim and RS components. It was initially meant for RS customers to be able to design enclosures for their PCBs, but it evolved in a fully functional CAD modeler. If you choose to use DSM, you will need to install it on your PC, and just like FreeCAD, files are stored locally so you have full control over them. Just like ANSYS SpaceClaim, DesignSpark Mechanical is direct modeling software. DSM has multiple tiers. It has a free tier called the Explorer and 2 subscription tiers called Creator and Engineer. What's really unique about Explorer tier is that it's not only free for personal use, but it's also free for commercial use. What's more, the functionality of Explorer is not limited, so you get full CAD experience for free for commercial use. However, I suggest you pay attention to the Creator tier. It adds the ability to modify existing STL and step files. Those are the files that you download from Printables, Thingiverse and other repositories. What it allows you to do is modify those parts very quickly. For example, those parts on your printer don't go together well. You can just move faces and make it fit. While step files can be modified by any CAD software, if you would like to modify a hole, in case of FreeCAD, you will need to sketch a hole, and you will need to do it for every single feature you want to modify. But with DSM and direct modeling techniques, you can do that much faster. It also converts STL files nicely to step, and you can modify them as well. Last but not least are the Alibre offerings. Let's start with Atom 3D. You will need to install Atom 3D on your PC. As a matter of fact, Alibre, Atom 3D and Alibre Design share the same installer. Your license will determine the version you have. Project files are yours to manage, so you can store them locally on your PC. Alibre Atom 3D is a parametric CAD modeler. Just like FreeCAD, you will get only parametric functionality. There is quite some functionality that differentiates Alibre Atom 3D from Alibre Design, but for this conversation, it's relevant that Alibre Design contains direct modeling functionality, but Atom 3D does not. There is no free tier for both Alibre Atom and Alibre Design. But just like Plasticity, it's a perpetual type of license. You purchase it once and it's yours forever. Atom 3D is a cheaper option in Alibre product family. Alibre Atom 3D is geared more towards hobbyists and makers, and Alibre Design to professional use cases. However, there is no limit on commercial use for Atom 3D. And this combination of perpetual license, smaller entry fee and commercial use makes Atom 3D a compelling offer for smaller businesses. And Atom's maintenance plan costs only $50 or €60 a year. Alibre Design offerings are more expensive than Atom 3D. However, 99% of what you can do in Alibre Design can be done in Atom 3D. It will just take a bit more clicks and a bit more time. We will discuss differences between Atom 3D and Alibre Design in a future video. So in the end, I present you with this summary table. Now you can decide for yourself if any of these properties are a deal breaker for you. Hope you found it useful and see you next time.